feeling about this.
You're inside the Mouse Castle with Tim and Anthony.
Welcome to the party. You found the Mouse Castle Lounge. The
Visit
place
us
to be
at
for good times and great
themousecastle.com.
conversations
Follow the Mouse
from the world
Castle
of
on
Disney.
Facebook.
The bar
Inside
is
the
open,
MCL
your
on
table
Twitter.
is waiting, and
Inside
drinks
the
are
Mouse
now
Castle
being
is
served.
not affiliated
Come on
with the Walt
in.
Disney
And
Company.
now, here's
Soon,
your host,
you'll understand
the keeper
why.
of the Mouse
Here's
Castle
Tim and
Lounge,
Anthony.
Tim Calloway.
Welcome to the Mouse Castle. I am Tim Calloway.
And I am Anthony Reynolds. It is April 20th, 2021.
We are your weekly dose of Disney news, information, and commentary. And what do we have coming up today, sir?
How long would you wait to buy Disneyland tickets? Well, I know you and I won't wait at all because we don't live in California, but How long would other people wait? Seoul dominates the Annie Awards, and a favorite landmark, rest in peace, is gone from Epcot's Morocco Pavilion.
Aww.
All that and more coming up next inside the Mouse Castle.
Okay, a little bit of a programming note here. Today, this episode actually marks the 100th episode, or at least the 100th time you and I have recorded a show together.
Wow, that's... geez.
It's a landmark. I mean, we should celebrate. We should have champagne or something.
Well, I got whiskey, so that's me right now.
Okay. Oh, and you know what I got? I got Absolute juice. Apple.
You have apple juice?
Yeah. I found this stuff entirely by accident. I was at Albertsons, and they were doing a closeout. They were getting rid of it, and they had these bottles of Absolute juice, and Absolute, like Absolute vodka, and it's like a it's healthy vodka because it's a botanical, but it's like usually a bottle of it costs like $24-25. And they were closing it out for like $10.
I'm Googling
so it's like,
this. I gotta know what you're talking about here.
Well, this is worth trying for $10, right?
So it's like a vodka, but it's just got the okay. Like
and rather than just having the flavoring in there and it still being a clear vodka, it actually has some body to it. It's got apple juice in it, but for a flavored vodka, I mean, it's honestly one of the best flavored vodkas I think I've ever had. And I'm not a big appletini person, but it's like, damn, this stuff is really good. And I serve it either, ice cold to keep it in the freezer, or you can mix it with a little bit of soda. And I love finding little surprises like that. It's really good.
You find a lot of good stuff at the clearance rack, especially at the liquor store.
Yeah, well, I'm kicking myself now that I didn't get more than one bottle because you can still get it like a Total Wine. And of course, there it is, $24. And it's like, crap, should have gotten it, cheap while
you
still
like
could.
it, but you don't $24 like it.
We'll see.
It's the Apple Teeny Tim year.
Yes, that it is. Well, my whole repertoire of drinks. I mean, I used to be, strictly a martini kind of person for the longest time, but in recent years, I've kind of broadened my my taste. So I really enjoy a good Manhattan.
If you get the good cherries, I got the Luxardo cherries, and that's make or break for me.
Now, it's funny. Now I pissed off a few friends over this.
No, you never would do
that. I mean, Luxardo cherries are fine. And they're very good, and they're better than just your generic, maraschino cherry. But I just don't think they're $24 fine, and they don't improve the drink that much. If I'm going to spend that much on a cocktail, I'm going to invest in the booze, not in the garnish.
I suppose. But if I want good booze, I'm not going to mix it with anything. I'm just going to have it on the rocks.
Okay.
Or neat.
Okay. Fair enough. But I made the mistake some months back of saying I didn't say what the big deal was on Luxardo cherries, and I had good friends absolutely turn on me.
See, when I do Manhattans, I mean that's the difference. If that cherry is in there, I think it adds a lot.
Okay.
I don't go I don't make a whole lot of Manhattans. I'm just too lazy to get everything out to do it. But
what do you mean get everything out? It's not.
I got the thing. I got to get the. I have to get the what's that, vermouth. I gotta measure that out. I like, just give me an ice cube, give me a cup, let me pour it. I'm done.
Okay. See, you
don't
should
wanna
try
have all
the
the
you should
stuff.
try the Absolute Juice apple then, because that's all you have to do. You don't have to mix it with anything. That stuff is just excellent straight up.
Well, now I'm also, because I bought vodka, I was going to make martinis, because I haven't had martinis in a while. I forgot to buy olives, and I haven't gotten to the liquor store or the grocery store to buy olives yet. And now I'm just drinking it mixed with LaCroix, so... I have all the stuff to make these nice cocktails, and I'm just too lazy to do any of it.
Yeah,
so.
you and your snobby LaCroix water. Or do you say La Croix?
It's LaCroix, and my favorite is the pamplemousse. Great.
Okay. There you go. Snob. Anyway, programming note, as we're talking about, I think I started talking about this and
You
we
did,
got a little
you did.
sidetracked.
We
Well,
got
you
a
know,
little sidetracked.
talking about booze, that is what we do.
We live it, talk about it, love it.
Yes, and actually kind of bearing that in mind, you know, having done 100 episodes together of Inside the Mouse Castle, what I've been doing since we relaunched the podcast is I've actually been simultaneously uploading the shows to both the Mouse Castle Lounge account and the Inside the Mouse Castle account, because out of sheer pride, I wanted to get Inside the Mouse Castle to 100 episodes.
And tens of people noticed.
And tens of people noticed. But now, should someone stumble across that on iTunes or, you know, wherever, you know, Spotify or wherever they're finding their podcasts these days, they will see that Inside the Mouse Castle has 100 episodes. That's impressive.
And then they'll see it doesn't go from there, and they'll be like, oh, and they quit on top.
That's right.
Pull to Seinfeld.
Which is exactly what we're doing, because this is officially the last episode that we will be posting on Inside the Mouse Castle, and we will be going exclusively back to the Mouse Castle Lounge with our next episode. So if you are listening to this show right now and you are finding it through Inside the Mouse Castle, next time, do a search or subscribe. Please subscribe. We love subscribers to the Mouse Castle Lounge, and that's where you will find us going forward.
And that'll all be, I think, posted probably on Facebook or whatever socials we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
It will be. Yes, you will
It'll be
find us.
easily
We are
linked.
out there. If you just Google Mouse Castle Podcast, you will find us somewhere.
Yes. I don't know what you're going to find. Don't dig too deep. But, you know, you'll find us.
You know, there's actually a podcast I saw out there. I've not listened to it, but I couldn't figure out whether they were paying tribute to us or doing a total rip-off. But there is a podcast called Mouse and Castle.
What the hell? That's...
I know, and I think it's relatively new. So I have not listened to it. I can't speak to about, you know, who the host or hosts are and exactly what the format is or what they're talking about. But I saw the name pop up in my search results, and it's like, well, that's interesting.
So we're feuding. We have a feud.
Yes, we have.
I don't know who these people are, but we're fighting.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like that scene in Anchorman where the news teams go at each other. I'm picturing that is just inevitable.
We'll have a big podcast battle.
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't want to be in that room.
Yeah, no. You get a bunch of podcasters together fighting over their turf. No, that's ugly.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah. So is there anything going on in Disneyland, speaking of Mouse and Castle?
Well, there's a few things going on.
There's a few stuff going on.
That's my new voice. That's who I really am. Disneyland tickets were officially put out for sale online. I think, was it last Friday they were out? Or the 16th.
So was that Thursday?
Thursday or Friday? Oh,
It was,
yes.
or is it the 15th? I don't know. It was last
We're not
week.
here. If you're here for details, you're at the wrong place. We're just gonna get the gist of the stories, and you'll be good.
Right. Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, I lost track of how many times we said the name Kong versus Godzilla when we were talking about that movie. The movie's title is Godzilla versus Kong. So anyway, that's our... That's a clarification. We must, between the two of us, you must have said it 6 or 7 times.
Well,
and each time it was Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, I think of Kong. I mean, I'm a Universal stan now, Tim, so I think Kong gets top billing no matter what. So that's where I'm at with it.
Fine.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, at some point in
moving
the
on.
last year, tickets went on sale for Disneyland's reopening on April 30th. And as far as I've seen, there's still plenty of dates available, plenty of slots open. I don't think opening day is available anymore, but people waited forever to get online. I think we have a few friends that did as well. And it was like 8, 9, 10 hours, something like that.
I know. It was crazy. I'm looking forward to going back to Disneyland one day, but I'm not sure I could just sit there with my, with my browser open, waiting in a virtual queue to get tickets.
And I don't know that I've
for
ever
that
waited,
long a period of time.
I don't think I've ever waited anything for like online queues or something like that.
No,
that'd be a whole thing. I don't know how you. I'm so meticulous about like waiting for tickets and stuff that if I were, I'd have to have my eyes on the computer the whole time. I would have wasted a whole day doing this. And I'm not.
I would be totally OCD on that.
Yeah, I couldn't be able to put on the TV and watch anything. I'd just be like, okay, no, not yet. F5, 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 F5.
refresh. Now,
Yeah,
that said, what's the longest you've ever waited in line to go on a ride?
The longest I ever waited in line. It's probably going to go before I actually remember. I'm guessing. I know we waited quite a bit for rocket rods back when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
which I know everybody
and
hates.
that queue was horrendous. I remember.
Yes, it just looped, and that's all I remember. Is kind of it just never ended. I think in recent memory, though, I would say probably Avatar, the Flight of Passage.
Okay.
And that one, I didn't mind waiting in it. It was funny though, because there was a woman in line a few ahead of us, and she was talking to her friend and said that she had never seen any of the Avatar movies. Well, she had never seen Avatar. I had no idea what was going on. She watched the movie in its entirety while we were waiting in line.
I love that.
But yeah, that wasn't that bad because I went in knowing I was gonna wait because me and my brother had done Animal Kingdom all day, and so we were pretty much ready to go at that point. I mean, I love that park. It's probably my favorite right now at Disney World, but it was early in the day. Not like late afternoon. It wasn't dark yet, and I'm like, well, we're not gonna leave until I see Pandora at night, and so we're like, well, we can kill 3 hours and just go wait for this ride. We came out, it was beautiful and fluorescent and everything. So I think that's the longest I've probably waited. If not that, then no, because Hagrid was a couple hours. I waited for that at Universal, that was fun. That was good. But that line just stopped. I'm good waiting if the line moves. If it just stops and doesn't move, I'm mad. What about you?
Now I remember, and I don't remember how long we stood in line. I know it was a long time, but also this is indicative of how old I am. But as a kid, I went to Disneyland with my family, and we stood in line for the Haunted Mansion in August of 1969, which was when it opened.
Yeah, wow.
And it wasn't like opening day or anything. It had been open for a little while, but we were there. And I remember standing in line, and I'm like 7 years old, and as 7-year-olds tend to do, I had to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
And my dad was ready to murder me because we were well entrenched in this line, and I'm pretty sure the line stretched back almost to the entrance to Pirates.
Okay.
And they didn't have. I don't remember. It's all fuzzy. It's all a blur. But I don't remember them having all the switchbacks like they had.
Probably not.
In the ride now. It was a long time ago. But I mean, I just remember a huge crowd, and we were back to almost Pirates, but we were still in the thick of it. And my dad was ready to murder me because I insisted on getting out of line because I had to go to the bathroom. So he made my sister take me.
That's a dad thing.
And I don't think she was too thrilled with that either. But in the end, we ended up having plenty of time. We got back in plenty of time before we got anywhere near the entrance.
You were one of those people, though. I hate you. The ones who are just like, oh, excuse me, my family's up there. My family, excuse me.
Exactly.
I took my boyfriend to Disneyland in the before time, obviously, because that's the one that's been closed. And we were... So this is where I found out, in the Midwest, cutting in line, stuff like that, I called it budging. Apparently that's not really a phrase, because he was confused and my coworkers were confused when I tell this. So anyway, when I tell this story, remember that budging means cutting in line. But
Okay, as opposed to budgie, which is a small bird.
yes, there it is. But anyway, so we're in line for Roger Rabbit, which I love that cue. I know some people hate it, but I think it's...
I love that cue.
It's really cool. And I forget how good it is. But we know, of course, we hear, excuse me. And we're like at the, when you're in the alleyway there, in there. So we're pretty deep into the line. And I had just had enough of it this trip. And then, excuse me, my family's here. I go, well, no, you can't, you're just budging right now. You can't come up. Well, they're right up there. And I go, yeah, but this is cutting in line. Well, no, but my family's here. I go, I just looked at her. I go, this is fancy budging. That's all it is. And then she went, and they just stared at us the whole time. Probably
fancy budging.
And now, they're probably staring at me, not because I was rude, but because they didn't know what the fuck budging was.
You can't do that. It's fancy
it's
budging.
There's a place for you to meet your family in line. It's called the entrance.
The exit. They get to ride because they're in line. You are not. Go to the end. Wait for them.
That is one of my number one pet peeve at theme parks is that.
Yeah, but what if you have to go to the bathroom? What if you're 7 years old and you have to use the bathroom?
It depends. I don't know. I don't have to tell you, Tim. Just don't budge.
Okay, damn it. God, you are so mean.
Am very strongly opinionated about a few things. But yeah, so for Disneyland tickets, I mean, they're still available. I haven't checked the availability. I just know that there are some. And people, of course, we have a whole Galaxy's Edge thing going on where people are saying that because Disney has dates open, that obviously they're a failure and nobody really wants to go.
Right.
I don't really want to go. I'm not going to go anytime soon.
Our turn will come. I'm fine with that. Now, speaking of the Haunted Mansion, they did make some changes and updates to Haunted Mansion.
Yes. So this was right before I think we went to record last week. I saw this article, and then of course it was so fresh in our mind that we forgot about it. But they've done a few updates to certain attractions. I know Snow White's being one of them. I'm really kind of I hope it turns out good. It needs an update. It doesn't need a change. Anyway, but they've updated...
Yeah. What is it? Like, it's Snow White's Enchanting Adventure or something like that?
Tiki Room, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it sound like...
Enchanted Wish, I think, right?
Enchanted Wish, that's it. Doesn't that sound like one of those cheesy direct-to-video sequels they did back in the 90s?
Yeah, it doesn't sound...
Snow White's Enchanted...
Yeah, Enchanted Wish. I don't...
Yeah. And I'm all fine with them updating it, but really, you couldn't come up with a better name.
Yeah,
anyway, I liked Snow White's Scary Adventures. Damn
I
it!
hope they don't downplay the scary. I'm not 100% against changes, like what they did with Alice in Wonderland, for instance. That really plussed up that ride.
Yes,
I'm good for updates. I'm 100% down for them. And then Peter Pan too.
What they did with Peter Pan too.
That one.
Some great little elements.
I did that. So sorry, we'll get back to Haunted Mansion in a second. So last night I had a cocktail and I spent a good 30 minutes going on YouTube and I went through every Peter Pan ride in every park.
Oh.
Just kind of comparing them.
I've done that.
Yeah,
it's
good.
That.
I like.
And it used to be. I was so resistant to watch ride videos on YouTube, particularly if it was like a new update or a park that I had not been to, and now I've kind of come to the conclusion that I'm not going to Tokyo Disney Sea next week.
Yeah,
okay?
That's where I'm at with it.
So if I watch ride videos from there, it's not really a spoiler.
So I, with Rise of the Resistance, that's, in Disneyland and also Hollywood Studios in Florida, because I work for an airline, so sometimes I get this wild hair up my ass just to fly, and so that ride had debuted and there were videos on there, and I was of that mindset, oh, I'm never going to get there. It's going to be a year or two before I get there. It's going to be whatever. And so I watched the video, and then, of course, 3 days later, it's opening week in Florida. I'm like, you know what? And so I ended up going opening week.
Might as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, Haunted Mansion.
Yes. So they've done a whole update on the pet cemetery that they have outside. Updated foliage and all of that.
Yeah,
so.
Stephen King designed it.
Yes, he
actually.
did. He did. There's gonna be an old guy in a dressed like the Gorton fisherman, going, "Oh yeah."
And Drew Barrymore will be dressed in one of the Haunted Mansion host outfits to give it true authenticity.
Oh, of course. I know what you're doing there. Go to the old pet cemetery. Sometimes Dad is better. So they updated the foliage, all that outside. I know that's great listening here. But inside, there's a painting, and it was December, I believe it was.
December, yeah.
Yes, where it was this woman who kind of aged. It reminds me a lot of when you go to Florida's Haunted Mansion, and they have in the foyer the portrait of the man who just ages. And it was kind of that. And she used to be featured in the portrait hallway, like right before you're walking up to the buggies. And they took that out. I can't remember what replaced her. I kind of want to say it was Medusa. But
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. But she's been missing forever. And so they finally have brought that back, and it's going to be when you go down the portrait hallway and you hang a right, it's going to be right there.
Right as you're just about to get on the dune buggies then. So like on the right-hand side.
Yep. And then there was like a one-eyed cat kind of thing, and they're kind of being coy with that. Like there's going to be something with that, but they haven't really, and it's like a statue of a cat with like a glowing red eye. I haven't really done much research because I don't do that.
We know.
But I'm guessing there's going to be something more to it because they did make a big point to mention that, and they seem to be very purposely not saying much about it.
Oh, and just kind of as an aside, Disney has been releasing some videos of refurbishments and changes, and they have one for Haunted Mansion, but they also did a complete refurbishment of King Arthur's Carousel.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't look at that because it's a carousel, and I'm not very interested in that. Did they add a backstory? Is it part of the Adventurers Club now, or?
That would be nice. Actually, the horses age as you're riding.
Oh my God! Poor Jingles.
I know. No, actually, they changed the color scheme, the canopy over the top.
Okay.
They made changes to that, and it is, I'm going to say, the same color scheme that they used on the originally way back in the day, when the park opened. But then all the horses got fresh coat of paint and all that refurbishing and everything. Anyway, it's all bright and shiny again.
So when the paint dries on that, did they just keep running it a little bit faster than they normally would just to dry it off?
It dries faster that way. It really does.
Yes, okay.
So, did you ever see Soul?
I did. I think I saw it when it released, and I liked it just fine. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was like a fun romp around that I'm gonna, go back and watch every once in a while. But maybe if I'm doing a Pixar rewatch, yeah,
okay,
definitely up there as far as quality goes. I really liked it.
Yes, I liked it, and I thought artistically from an animation standpoint, I thought it was really a beautiful film, but the story was kind of, it was too much like Inside Out. And I kept making comparisons to Inside Out while I was watching the whole thing, and that became kind of a distraction.
Well, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are different people, Tim.
Yes, I know this.
Oh, okay.
And I love them both. I have such a crush on both of them. They need to host the Golden Globes, or they need to host the Oscars together one day. But anyway, I know they did the Golden Globe.
They need a sitcom.
Anyway,
I want to watch that.
I digress. Anyway, the Annie Awards were last Friday, which is the big award show for animation. And of course, like all award show this year, they did it virtually, they did it online. But Pixar's Soul just kind of ran the table, and it walked away with 7 Annie Awards, including Best Feature, Best Character Animation, Best Music. And this is when I still have trouble wrapping my head around Trent Reznor doing music for a Disney Pixar film.
I keep forgetting that he did that.
Yes.
I just know him
he's super talented, but if you were familiar at all with 9 Inch Nails,
Yes.
This is such a departure.
I'm looking at the, I pulled up the Annie Award nominations. I think you follow that a little bit more than I do, and I'm trying to see. So, other nominees for Best Feature was Trolls World Tour, The Willoughbys, I don't know what that is, The Croods, oh, The Croods, and Onward. Now, Onward was very,
You know something? I still haven't seen Onward.
It was unfortunately the last movie I saw before everything shut down. So
it's
that
your
was
fault.
my
I see.
experience. But no, it's just kind of, I think I have just Chris Pratt fatigue. I'm just kind of over it. It's just, it's too much of him.
He doesn't have to be in everything, you know?
No. And I'm just,
No.
and he annoys me kind of. I don't know why. Not getting into that.
Yeah. Now, one movie that did win a lot of awards also at the Annies, Wolfwalkers. It's an indie film. It was released through G Kids, I think. And that one I've heard some wonderful things about. Have not seen it yet, but that one is definitely on my list to see. But it took 5 awards, including Best Indie Feature. And that's actually what I do like about the Annie Awards is how they break it up. Their feature categories. They have Best Feature, which would be anything that's produced by the big studios, by Disney, by Pixar, DreamWorks, etc. And then they have Best Indie Feature, which is everybody else, because indie features, as a rule, rarely fare well when they're up against the big studio releases.
And I think, because I'm looking through these, and I think the Annies are definitely more accessible than the Oscars these days. Because, I look at I used to be huge in keeping track of every movie that's nominated for an Oscar. I'd see every Best Picture nominee. And now I think I'm lucky if I've heard of 3 of them.
Well, and then the funny thing about that, too, is because everything was released to streaming, I think this year I have probably seen more Best Picture nominees than I have in years.
I think I've just seen more movies, but yeah, no, I haven't. I don't know. I feel most of them are just a slog to get through, and I don't want to.
What was it? One Night in Miami. That one I saw. That one I thought was really good. Mank, I liked. I thought it started really well, but it started to kind of drag at the end. But it has Gary Oldman in it, so there you go.
He can do anything.
He can. Including playing a character who is much younger in real life than Gary Oldman is now. He plays younger.
I heard that Daniel Day-Lewis is actually Gary Oldman in prosthetics.
I'll never forget. I think it was the year that Daniel Day-Lewis won for Lincoln, a Best Actor. In his acceptance speech, he commented, because Meryl Streep had presented him with the Oscar that year, that actually Meryl Streep was originally cast to play Lincoln.
I would believe that.
And they did a swap. So he did Lincoln, she did Margaret Thatcher, and the rest is history. But no, he actually said that in his acceptance speech. And anyway, it's one of those
Meryl
funny
Streep
things
could do
you remember.
Lincoln. Daniel Day-Lewis could not do Devil Wears Prada.
No, I don't think he could pull that off. Now, that is one thing that, we talk about watching videos, watching ride videos. My other obsession on YouTube is watching Oscar acceptance speeches.
What?
And the Motion Picture Academy has just about everything archived of all the winning announcements at the award show. And I have this weird thing where I'm just fascinated with watching them, particularly their older ones. But
I don't know that I could do that. I mean, I'd have to watch I could watch like the top 10 cringe-worthy acceptance speeches. And number 1 being Adrian Brody, but I don't know that I could sit and watch all of them.
Or Roberto Benigni, that's another one. Where he climbed up on
again?
top of the seats and then, then he went a little bonkers. But yeah, that.
Yeah,
But there are some really moving, really funny, really heartfelt acceptance speeches, and it's kind of fun to revisit them. So
I sit at
that's
home
my
and I
thing.
watch-
That's my weird YouTube obsession. I love looking at those kind of videos.
I just watch the Anne Hathaway James Franco year on a loop here. That's quality entertainment right there.
Ow.
Well, speaking of quality entertainment, a little piece of it is going away in Epcot.
Yes.
So,
yes, a landmark.
Yes.
If there was ever such a thing.
Now there's been like some changes in the Morocco Pavilion at Disney. Basically, I think it was kind of that whole pavilion was run by a third party. And now they've kind of lost control of that, and now Disney is stepping in and kind of taking full control over the Morocco Pavilion. And so there's been a lot of construction and changes going on there anyway. But there is one notable piece of architecture there that was basically kind of a dome or just a thing sticking out of a wall. But it had basically a shaft and a head. And it looked a lot like, well, just to say it, a penis.
Yes, there you go. Or you could say it was phallic.
It was phallic. It was fantastic. And it had gotten a little bit of...
and that was a show on the water at Epcot that never caught on. Fantastic.
Well, it definitely was a lot of spraying. But anyway, so that had gotten popular with people wanting to take photos with it and selfies with it. But then construction walls went up, and there were some rumors going around that it may not survive. And that has been confirmed. They unveiled the area, and now all we're left with is a penis-y-looking door.
Yeah, it doesn't have quite the same charm, shall we say.
No, it's just a little door with a little... But you could tell what it was if you knew it was there, so I think we'd all just need to take a photo with the door now.
And to move on.
Yep. Now it's just a doorknob.
Yeah. God, it's been ages since I've been back to Epcot. You get there more than I do. You're closer.
Yeah, I think it's been a minute since I've been there, but it's definitely, I think, right now, I don't know that, well, pandemic aside, I don't know that I would go. I just think there's too much under construction right now.
True.
So I think once Guardians opens up, maybe I might go back. But right now it just seems like, and especially with limited hours that they're doing because of the pandemic, I think you'd have to pretty much rush everything. Yeah. And that's not how I want to experience Epcot.
No, you can only sprint through so much.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big park.
And speaking of Guardians and Marvel-ish stuff, a new trailer was released this week, and I hadn't even heard of this until the trailer came out on Monday for a new, I'm guessing, an MCU film. It's called Shang-Chi the Master. Oh no, wait a minute. Hello. I'm looking at the Marvel comic it's based on. It's based on Shang-Chi the Master of Kung Fu, but this one is called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah, and I just watched that trailer right before we went on to record because I'm always prepared. And it looks good. I'm on board.
It does. It looks to be a little more serious minded than some more recent Marvel movies. And I think I had told you earlier that it kind of reminded me kind of the similar tone to the earlier Thor movies.
Which I don't think is a great thing, but I think Marvel has they've evolved to the point where I think they know that that's not really what people want. So I think it's probably going to be a little bit more balanced in
yes. And it's a mostly Asian cast, and that looks impressive. And the lead who plays Shang-Chi is Simu Liu, and I hope I'm saying his name right. But also one of my favorite people, Aquafina, is in it as well. I love her.
I was telling you, I don't know, there's something, maybe it's her name, but every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, great, she's in this. But every time I watch, I don't know why.
If you're going to name yourself after a water bottle, you're better to do Aquafina than LaCroix. So there you go.
At least it's not Dasani. Toilet water. But no, every time I've seen an Aquafina movie, I have always loved her in it. Like Crazy Rich Asians was one. Raya and the Last Dragon, I saw that, and she was great in that as well. So now,
She was really good in the last Jumanji picture.
yes,
Jumanji: The Next Level.
Yeah, and she played Danny DeVito.
Yes, she's doing Danny DeVito, and it's like I'm dying. And I think Aquafina did a better Danny DeVito than Kevin Hart did Danny Glover.
But I will say this: so Kevin Hart is kind of a one-trick pony. He plays Kevin Hart in everything that he's in. But it was really refreshing when he did play Danny Glover in that movie, because I was like, he's actually acting. He's doing something. And yes, I like the Aquafina one better, but I don't think his Danny Glover was that far off. And I was just grateful to see him doing something different. So I support it. I support him.
I agree with. There you go. Yes. Anyway, those are guilty pleasure movies for me. But Shang-Chi, and I'm going to keep saying this wrong. Hang on again. But Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to be out in September, and
I'm looking forward to
the latest Marvel movie. I'm looking forward
to it then more than I am looking forward to Black Widow, which I really feel nothing for it.
Black Widow, I adore Scarlett Johansson, but the trailers I've seen for it, it's like, I don't know.
And I'm just kind of over Scarlett Johansson. I don't know.
I'm not, and I never will be.
We have different types.
Indeed.
Now, on the movie track here.
Speaking of different types.
Oh, yes. Mads Mikkelsen. We talked last week about Phoebe Waller. I don't know. Listen to last week's episode about her starring alongside Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones. We just got.
Okay, you better not get Harrison Ford wrong.
Hey, I was not forgetting his name.
Yeah,
I was going to call him Indiana Jones.
And it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Waller-Bridge.
Okay, in case you were wondering.
Was starring with Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones movie, and we just got an announcement a few days ago that Mads Mikkelsen is going to be in Indy 5 as well. Since he does have an accent like he does, I'm guessing he's going to be the villain.
Yes, he usually is.
Yeah, he does play a good one.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at I mean, he has covered such a wide range. I mean, okay, he's doing an Indiana Jones movie now. He's done a Marvel movie. He was the bad guy in Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. He's been a bad guy in James Bond movies. So I mean, he's got all the franchises. If he could do a convincing English accent, he could have been in Harry Potter.
Yeah, but he played a good guy in Rogue One.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
So
yes,
just like
yes,
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, he's also Lucasfilm family.
Yes.
Because and it's always the spin-off movies, which I think are the better Star Wars movies coming out anyway. So no, I'm excited for that, because I think he definitely would be a good fit. I can see him fitting in very easily into the whole Indiana Jones atmosphere, environment, movies.
Yes. And we were speculating on that last week about when and where the Indiana Jones movie is going to be set.
I don't know what the baddie is going to be on this one.
I know. What bit
take
of
place nowadays and fight Nazis again? That would be all right.
That's true. And
travel.
let's see, that would make Indiana Jones like in his 90s.
He can go over, to the Holy Cup, in the third movie, he can go there and just live in that cave until not age.
Oh, there you go.
Knight of the Templar.
Yeah, that's right. And we already know that. I mean, how could this not work? Because Indiana Jones is totally Antifa. So Antifa. I say Antifa.
I say Antifa.
It is Antifa, but it should be Antifa because that's what it is. It's anti-fascist. Anyway,
I'll go over to my Antifa's house. She always makes good tea. And that will do it for this episode of The Mouse Castle. Don't forget to visit us at themousecastle.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Mouse Castle.
And please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are found. I was absolutely shocked as we're in the process of bringing the show back of the places that we were listed that I did not realize we were actually on those platforms. But, even going 5 years without issuing a show, the people still found us, and that was cool.
Guys, what did I listen to it? Because I told you in the past, I don't like to listen to myself. And the thing is, I can hear myself. I don't have a problem with my voice. But the shit that I say, I don't want to listen back to that. And I think, did I find us on Stitcher, I think was the one I found?
Yeah, this was before there were as many platforms as there are now. But I mean, the big ones, it was iTunes, it was Stitcher, it was SoundCloud. But now we've added Spotify and iHeartRadio and oh, good Lord, where really anywhere that you can find a podcast, you will find us. And a big thank you to the company that hosts our podcast, Libsyn, Liberated Syndication, for making it so easy to get listed on all these platforms. So that is super cool.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
so
you,
wherever
company.
you find us,
Yes,
please,
we'll be out there.
please subscribe to us, and we will catch you next time in the Mouse Castle, in the Mouse Castle Lounge. Ha ha, we're back.
See ya.